Bitcoin is massively oversold right now. So is XRP, so is Solana, so is Ethereum. The charts look absolutely disgusting. Bear markets are never a lot of fun. Are we in the capitulation moment at this time? Are we destined to go much lower? Can we at least get a gosh darn relief rally soon? Well, we've got some hope even charts for you that could say at least a relief rally maybe coming in the not so distant future. We've got the stock charts. We got the goods. We got a lot to discuss today. So we better go ahead and get the heck into it, man, because holy cow, crypto. What the fuck? Okay, so Eric Trump remains undefeated. He said Q4 is going to be unbelievable for crypto. It was unbelievable, Eric. Just not in the way anybody had hoped it was going to be unbelievable. Gosh darn it. Jim Cramer, the key counter indicator for everything in the world. He's got this to say about Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is like at 81, and you're looking at what I regard as being the single worst moment in this decline was the moment between 330 and 430. And then Williams comes on, and then suddenly everything's fine. I don't think so.
You don't think everything's fine?
No, there's a lot of people who have to get out.
There's a lot of people who have to get out. Now, Jim Cramer said that at $83,000, we're now almost at $84,000. We're now $14,000 per Bitcoin below that. Maybe Jim was right this time. Oh boy, what a world we live in, huh? Jack Newald shared a thread of bottom signals. Kyle Samani, bear posting. Kyle has said, crypto is fundamentally not as interesting as many crypto enthusiasts wanted, myself included. I once believed in the Web3 vision. Dapps, I don't anymore. A lot of such takes. A lot of OGs giving up, walking away, disenchanted, disillusioned, fed up. Okay? This guy, we're doing tennis, baby. Check out. Treasury says it cannot bail out Bitcoin. Brian Armstrong's pivoting to longevity. Oh, man. Vitalik, the death of L2s. Deep apathy. So one thing I'm noticing is the last time 2022 prices went down, but most of us thought crypto was still interesting. However, this time there's a large pool that don't believe that anymore. It's true. It's true. The best innovations this cycle were hyper gambling on meme coins. That was kind of it. Last time we got all kinds of exciting stuff, DeFi and NFTs and all that cool shit. This time's been a little sadder, and the price action has not warranted the massive risk that you take as a crypto investor, right? You could have just bought silver and got the same returns as Bitcoin this cycle. You could have bought NVIDIA in 2022 and outperformed Bitcoin. You could have bought Facebook and got the same returns as Bitcoin with a lot less bullshit. People are noticing, okay? Zero is possible. I was bullish from 120K to here because of high time frame structure. I'm starting to think zero is possible. Every cycle feels different, but never is. You make real money on paper, think it's permanent, then you round trip it forever and swear you're done. It can get so much worse. Doesn't mean the bottom's in, but sentiment is rock bottom right now. The majors are down. I mean, look at this. Bitcoin 20%, Ethereum 28%, XRP 22%, Solana 26%. Those are shocking numbers. This is one of the worst weeks in memory. Well, recent memory, let's say. We've certainly had worse weeks before, but one of the worst weeks in recent memory for the cryptocurrency market class. Absolutely savage selling right across the board, especially for the majors. And everything is technically oversold, but stocks are still near all-time highs. You see, when we had the kind of oversold readings that we have right now in crypto back in 2022, stocks had already shed massively. You know, Bitcoin was down 75%, but so was Facebook. This time, it's different. All those stocks are basically just slightly off all-time highs. If the stock market rolls over, man, we are going to mega goblin town. President Trump says it's time for interest rates to plummet and that economic growth will make the debt look very small. Okay? He said they're going to be lowered. We're way high on the interest. Incoming Fed Chair Warsh must make it happen.
Why? How can you say that?
I just think they're going to be lowered. I mean, they should.
Is your new Fed pick on board with that?
We're way high. Okay, we're way high in interest. We have now, with me and with all the money, I've always been good at money. And with all the money coming into our country, we're a rich country again. We have debt, but we also have growth. And the growth will soon make the debt look very small because
they're going to run it hot, baby. They're going to run it hot. It's good for later us. Short-term us still have a lot of problems, especially if you are heavy into the cryptocurrency markets. The Clarity Act, poly-market odds have surged to over 70% that we get the Clarity Act signed into law in 2026. Now, in a different market, that would probably mean something interesting for the cryptocurrency markets. In the current market, it will just be a blip on the radar and nobody will probably care about it. SPX futures opening basically flat based on the current readings. S&P 500 yesterday had a big sell-off, but into the end of the day rallied back above the 50-day EMA. NASDAQ looking pretty nasty, to be honest here. Lost the major EMAs and is now trending downward. 20-day EMA, 50-day EMA now starting to point down. So we'll see if this is a short-term blip. A lot of fear right now around software companies, around the AI trade, all that kind of stuff. Look, a correction in stock markets is normal and healthy. And if stocks drop, if the index has dropped 10% or 15% over the next few months, that would be totally cool and normal and healthy. There's always a big dip in the midterm election years. The problem is if NASDAQ drops 15%, look out below for your crypto bags, man. It's going to be nasty. Russell 2000 maintains its uptrend. This is, of course, the risk sector, the high risk sector, let's say, of the stock market. Generally, there's a correlation with this and crypto assets. Obviously, no correlation right now because crypto is getting absolutely slaughtered. Well, this continues to do relatively well. Quick word from today's sponsor, and then let's talk about Bitcoin. Heads up, crypto tax holders. Starting this tax year, U.S. exchanges are required to report your digital asset sales directly to the old IRS using the new 1099 DA form. This means that the IRS will know what you have been trading, and you're still on the hook to calculate and to prove your cost basis for every single taxable transactions. That's where Sum comes in. Sum connects to over 3,500 different exchanges, different wallets, and different integrations. That includes DeFi. That includes NFTs. Remember those? That includes staking. That includes airdrops. This lets you track your cost basis across literally everything. Their platform automatically categorizes your transactions, helps to filter out spam tokens, and of course, maximizes your deductions, which you might need in 2026. It also generates accurate IRS-ready reports. And if you've been putting off your crypto taxes, there is good news because their subscription covers unlimited previous years. Sum is rated 4.6 stars on Trustpilot, and they are also an official tax partner of both Coinbase and MetaMask. And of course, if you live in somewhere that's not the USA, UK, Canada, Australia, Germany, and more, they also have you covered because guess what? Tax authorities coming after crypto everywhere. So you don't need to be a tax expert. Sum applies the IRS rules for you. Check the link down below in the description to get started for free. About Bitcoin. Eric Balcoon is sharing this, said facts. Only 6% of the assets in Bitcoin ETFs have left. 94% are hanging tough despite a nasty 40% downturn and many being underwater. OGs, on the other hand, are selling. What's interesting is that on the one hand, that's good. Okay, the ETF buyers are strong hands. The flip side is, whoa, that's a lot of ETFs that could still be sold off. And that's a heck of a lot of sell pressure that could still come into a super weak market that is currently having trouble digesting any kind of selling pressure. Yesterday, we saw $500 million in outflows from Bitcoin ETFs. Not fantastic picture across the rest of the crypto asset class either. 79 million out of Ethereum. Solana here, 6.7 million out. So not great across the board. Titan and Crypto sharing the Wyckoff method bear case. Everyone loves bullish stories at the top. Few respect risk. Trust the charts, not the noise. This Wyckoff pattern would indicate a potential first push down to the 50K range, big relief rally, and then a final push to a potential new low at the lower end of the 50K or higher end of the 40K range. So nasty. Great buying opportunity. Nasty in the short term. Sentiment's bad and it can get worse. So let me tell you that. We have here a chart by Zoe Toshi. Looks like this prophecy will be fulfilled. Another 75% decline all the way down to 30K. A lot of bearish charts coming out. Mike McGlone from Bloomberg calling for $10,000 Bitcoin right now. Huge sentiment in the gutter vibes right now. Here's an interesting one for you. The green line represents the Bitcoin mining cost. Every time BTC retraces back towards this line, the bottoming process has begun. It's actually a super fascinating chart. Now, in a cycle where everything has been kind of thrown out and all assumptions have been challenged, except maybe the 4-year cycle, which if it just plays out to the day would be so crazy. Anyway, what's interesting is that this chart, you'll have bottoming periods where it'll basically track right along with the cost of Bitcoin, and almost never does it go significantly under. Okay, only happened during the COVID crash, in fact, when everything across the world crashed dramatically in a single day. Okay, so aside from that kind of event happening, usually the price bottoms right in this area. Interesting. Marty Party sharing this liquidation map. $25 billion worth of shorts up to 108K, whereas there's only $800 million worth of longs down to 64K. So what do you think the market makers are going to want to do? Where do they find the tastiest snacks? It's not by pushing the price down even further to catch that 800 million. It's by pushing the price back up to catch that 25 billion. Now, I'm not saying it's going to 108K, but there's probably enough short positioning in the next 10K between here and 80 or 84 to fill the CME gap, for example, that the market makers may like to nibble on, okay? Bitfinex longs. These guys have been taking shit for a while, let me tell you, but they have ramped up their longs as the price has come down. Will these guys be right again? We shall see. Edward Moore pointing out the CME gap. Pretty rare to leave such a big gap on the CME. More likely than not, we fill it within a week. Bounce soon, IMO. Crypto Nuevo shared this one. Witnessing the first part of this new projection, liquidity sweep at the previous low. Longing this is risky. We all agree it requires screen time, risk management, confidence. This chart shows the safest way. Wait for a 1 week candle close back above that dotted white line right there. Interesting. Ted Pillows. BTC is now at the lowest level since November 2024. A lot of big entities have accumulated in this zone, and this needs to be held. If Bitcoin loses the 66 to 70 zone, there could be another liquidation cascade towards the 300-week EMA. It's around 60K right now. Lots of downside targets, lots of fear in the market right now. Bitcoin just hovering over $70,000 at the time of recording this video. Almost no strength, almost no bid coming in. It's basically been down only for the last week solid. Any bounces have been extremely small and sold off extremely quickly, okay? Wild stuff. We got under $70,000 on Coinbase today. You can see here we do have a big fat bullish RSI divergence forming up where the price keeps pushing lower, but the RSI is maintaining a higher low here. Let's see if that plays out or not. Over on the weekly, now some Bitstamp, the price actually went down to 68K on Bitstamp and did tap the 200-week moving average. Will that be an area where we can see a bounce? Weekly is now officially on the oversold side as well. The RSI down at 28. Doesn't mean we need to bounce there. We can just keep going lower. Okay, we can always just keep going lower. But if there is going to be a bounce, man, there's a lot of confluence for this being an interesting area to bounce. But if you lose this, things get precipitously worse in a very, very short amount of time, okay? Just FYI. ETH looking like absolute dog crap here. Interestingly, back in 2022, from the time that we had this false breakout over the 50-day EMA, like we had back here in early January, mid-January, from that rejection, we dropped 65%, just a straight line down from basically mid-April to mid-June, okay? Savage, disgusting sell-off where we didn't retest the 50-day EMA again. In fact, we didn't cross the 50-day EMA again until July 2022. Savage. Tom Lee's got to be sweating bullets right now, man. ETH BTC ratio is at a very interesting place. You can see this is the downtrend line here. It's been in place for a while. I've had 1, 2, second touch on that line now. Very interesting. Very interesting place for it to be settling currently. Of course, if it loses that, it's really bad news for ETH and for altcoins probably more broadly. I mean, I know everything's getting slaughtered right now, but that would make it even worse, let's say. Solana, amazingly under $90. What? It's crazy. $80 is the next area of potential price support here for Solana. Wildly oversold, currently at 23 on the RSI. This is the most oversold it has been in a very, very long time since the tariff sell-off fears, for example. Of course, that initial reading of being oversold in the RSI still had 2 lower lows to come in after that. Now, MASH, the bullish divergence did form up, but the price had to drop precipitously further before that happened. Okay, just FYI. Some coins like Pump holding up surprisingly decently, considering how bad things have been. Now let's do a quick few stocks here for you. This is interesting. Caleb Franzen shared this. Bitcoin and ARK both peaked on the exact same date. Meanwhile, your favorite guru is still talking about idiosyncratic Bitcoin crypto risks since the leverage liquidation on October 10th. It's just risk appetite, which has been waning for months. If you put Bitcoin next to software ETF, it's a similar picture with software selling off big time. So big move down in tech. ARK, of course, the innovation ETF selling off massively and very much mirroring the moves of Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin basically trading like a tech stock. Makes you wonder why you don't just trade tech stocks. What's the point in being stressed out trading Bitcoin, huh? AMD down 16%. Advanced Micro Devices shares tumble as much as 16%, their biggest intraday drop since 2018. Analysts flagged the buy-side expectations were much higher, while Citi notes that the upside to results was boosted by unexpected China sales. Interesting. Absolutely got slaughtered yesterday, down 21% in total. Holy cow. Now, pre-markets are showing a slight bounce here, but the 200-week EMA is at $190 currently. You'd want to hope, if you're an AMD bull, you'd want to hope that holds, okay? Otherwise, we're heading back to 180, which is the top prices from back here in August, okay? Google reported earnings, okay? They beat again. Google remains undefeated. Holy cow. Google said it expects to spend between $175 to $185 billion in CapEx in 2026, above expectations of $120 billion. Of course, nothing was spared yesterday. Pre-markets showing it opening under the 20-day EMA. Perhaps we are topping out here on Google in the short term. Buying opportunities may present themselves in the not-so-distant future. I wanted to share this Coinbase chart as well. Coinbase looks absolutely cooked as well, following along with the rest of the cryptocurrency market. The RSI on the daily is now the lowest it has been since the 13th of May, 2022. Again, that massively low RSI reading, we still had a lower price later. So this got us down to $40, and we still saw a $32 price later on after a major relief rally, okay? The fact is breaking down out of this triangle does not look good, okay? Of course, that invalidates that big triangle pattern that we had forming up here for a very, very long time, but also is very problematic because that could signal a lot of potential downside price action to come here for Coinbase. Guys, if you're not in the inner circle yet, you got to check it out. There's a link down below where you can get signed up, where you can check it out. This is our investing community. Okay, you'll get access to our trading course, $299 value. You'll get that for free when you sign up. You're going to get our weekly altcoin reports on hot altcoins like Canton, which has been outperforming the market. You're going to get weekly stock reports on hot tech stocks. Okay, we've got some absolute bangers that have come out there. For example, Micron Technologies up 100% since we shared the report. Okay. You get regular trading setups, long and short positions. Remember, you can make money when the market's going down too. Long and short positions on crypto, stocks, metals. You'll get our token sniffer bot, our trading signals bot, and much, much more. All that for $50 a month. That is an insane steal. The huge value we're providing. I don't know how long we can keep this thing at $50 a month, but it's at $50 a month currently. You'll get a 7-day free trial when you sign up. There is a link down below. Go check it out. We'd love to see you in there. Thank you so much. There'll be better days ahead of us, guys. Don't worry, okay? I know it's bad now. It can always get worse. No, I know it's bad now, but it'll be okay at some point in the future. We just have to go through eat some shit first. Anyway, thanks for watching.